First explanation about dialog boxes. I like to confirm and do prompt dialog boxes. So next we are going to solving the small problems. Like as a programming languages, we are solving the problems for the same in JavaScript also. The data types over, variables over, and operators also over. So with this knowledge, we are able to solve the small problems. Any problems are swapping program, addition, subtraction, or even number program. Otherwise, total marks calculations program, simple interest calculation, like that. Simple problems. So first of all, I'm going to find the sum of two numbers. I want to find out the sum of two numbers. That is my first problem. So first I'm defining the two variables a comma b. Two variables I define with the length. Possible as sir, two variables defining in same statements. It's 100% possible, sir. But previous all examples, maximum I defined like this. But it's not a mandatory. Take the comma and define any number of variables. Next value of a is some 10. And value of b is some 20. Then I want to find the sum of these two numbers. Yes, possible. Sum s equals to a plus b. Then bring that sum. So if you want to bring the sum, as per our previous knowledge, document.write is available. Then you can write sum is yes. Otherwise, yesterday's discussion elect is also available. Here also you can write sum is yes. So document.write, if you use it, it just directly printing on your web page. And elect, if you use it, a separate window is created, there it is printing. Which one your interest, anything is okay, no problem. But in this program, we have the small problem, technical problem. So what is the technical problem, sir? If I run this program multiple times or couple of times, sir, you will get always the same output only, 30. Refresh, sir, but again 38. Reason, sir, here we are taking the static data. The data is called as the static data. Static data. How can say it's a static data, sir? While designing of the program, if you assumed any value, or while designing of the program, if you assign any value to variables, that becomes as a static data, never changing the data. The data never changing, sir. If you run the program any number of times, you will get the same outputs and same results only. Previous all examples are the static data one. Because run all your previous examples, yesterday what we got, today also will get the same output only. Tomorrow also will get the same output. Day after tomorrow also same output only. But I want to change this one to continuously changing. Dynamic data required. Dynamic data in the sense runtime values. Now, while designing of the program, we are not assuming any data. After opening of the page, we are asking the data from user. We are asking data? User. One option, yesterday's prompt. You want to take the data from the user, one option is yesterday's prompt. Second option, one option, yesterday's prompt concept, prompt method we can use for taking data from the user. Another option to take the data. Another option to take the data. Huh? Huh? Where? Where use it for variable declaration, not taking data together. Question repeating, sir. I want to take the data from user. One option, yesterday prompt. Second option, console. Console.read log. Confirm. Confirm only confirmation, sir, not taking data together. Scanf. Yeah. Sir, is JavaScript C language got scanf. Elect for data printing, sir, not data taking. Document.read. Oh. This point I never explained, sir. Document.write available. Document.read also, no? Document.get element by here. That also I'm not explaining. Prompt option I already given, sir. First one option prompt, I'm asking second option. Prompt I already given that answer. Okay. గుడ్డి కన్నా మెల్ల మీరు అంటారు కదా, అసలు కన్ను పోవటం కన్నా ఏదో ముసముస తినడం బెటరే కదా. గుడ్డి కన్నా మెల్ల మీరు అంటారు కదా. And all are not answered. At least somebody also not answered. Very few people's answered. Sir, HTML completed kada. Mari CSS completed. HTML user interfaces for taking data from user only, sir. text boxes, passwords, number boxes, check boxes. Why we are creating time pass? Huh? Taking data from user only, or what is my question? I want to take the data from user. One option prompt to, one more option is available. What is that I'm asking? You have to say the HTML second part, the concept total, that only kada. You said that person give an answer. Input tags available, buttons available.
Kali-kali guna utara meru.
Oh, all topics explanation, time waste unnecessary. HTML concept, how you are forgetting here? Your subject main purpose is the other user interface. About number the story. Enter first number, enter second number, and some letting S equals to A plus B and bring the result. We have a small problem also after execution of that one. When you run the program, it's asking enter first number 25, enter the second number 30, and the sum is 25 30. What happening, sir? It performs the concatenation. Why it is concatenation, sir? We already discussed it. Data comes in the text format. Generally, data comes in the text format. So as per the text format operations, it's displaying like this. So what to do, sir? We have to use a special function, sir, predefined function, parse integer for converting of the data. Currently data available in string format, then only it performs the concatenation. A string format data we should be converted by using the one of the predefined function of the JavaScript, that is the parse integer. And another, both times I am using this one. So take the data, take the data from the user, change it to number format, and then store it to variable. After for that, we are going to finding the sum of two numbers. Now we'll get the answer properly. Enter the first number 25, second number 30, and the sum is 55. Again refresh. Enter the first number 147, second number 650, and the sum is 97. This is dynamic data. The continuously changes are happens. Dynamic data ante accepting the data from users. Static data ante data given by the programmer. Programmer's data always the same one, because day-to-day programmer never going to changing the data. But users every time opening they are giving the different values. Continuously changes dynamic values. HTML second part used for taking data from the users only. But you don't know that one and you are not remember that one. Why you are attending classes, God only knows that. Simple sentence. It's the same part of your subject main purpose you don't know. Next, so couple of JavaScript examples we practice it, sir. But in all these cases, static data are like this we use. So first time I am going to integrating the HTML and JavaScript program. Data access means user interface coming from the HTML, coding support coming from the JavaScript. Both is going to do. So I'm going to designing a small calculator here, simple interest calculator. I want to design a simple interest calculator, finding the simple interest amount. So for that, these are the supporting components. Label, so interest calculator, label, enter the principal amount, label close, line break, input type equals to text box, ID equals to P amount, and line break. Next one more label, IMO, label close, and line break. Next text box, ID, time only, break. Next one more label, rate of interest, label close, line break. Next input type equals to text box, ID equals to ROI, line break. So three labels, so three text boxes, principal amount, IMO, and rate of interest. Next bottom one button, on click event, they should be called one function. The function name is my own function, compute, and button headings are calculate, the heading of the button. Next, a small output tag, ID equals to result, output tag is close. So HTML user interface ready. The designing part is done. This is the designing part. Fill the details here and click on this button. Then we have to do the calculations. Calculations HTML, CSS both unable to perform. So compulsory JavaScript support required. The HTML. This point you don't know. Huh? Then I will question again. How to take the data from user. బాగా రైజ్లో ఉంది, టెంపరేచర్ రైజ్లో ఉంది బాగా. Next I'm developing a function here, sir. Compute. Inside that I'm defining some local variables. All these are the local variables. Recently somewhere I explained. Let is used for the local declarations. How can say local, sir? It is defined inside the block. Inside the function, if you define any variable, inside the block, if you define any variable, those called as the local variables. Use always let keyword, don't use the var keyword. Variables are principal amount P, rate of interest R, time T, simple interest SI. Variables already. Next, P equals to P amount dot value. What is this, sir? My text box ID dot value. A JavaScript accessing the data from your HTML program by using ID attribute. This is also somewhere we discussed it. That is the step meaning. Which text box data or which input to control data you want to access it, that input or control ID dot value in the process. Next is similarly R equals to ROI dot value. Next T equals to T dot value. So three values we successfully collected into our program. Then simple interest equals to P into T into R by 100. Calculation is done. Then display the result in output tag. Result dot value equals to simple interest amount SI and close the function. It is JavaScript to HTML difference. So JavaScript operation HTML unable to perform, HTML operation JavaScript unable to perform. HTML for the designing purpose, JavaScript for the logical purpose. So principal amount 1,000 rupees, time 1 year, rate of interest 10%. Calculate error. ₹100 answer. Simple interest amount 100 rupees. Correct, sir? You can check some other value also. 1,50,000. Time of 3 years. Rate of interest some 10.5. Calculate the interest amount. 47,000. Interest amount for the 3 years. 10.5 interest. So this is simple interest calculation, problem solving until like this. If you have any other programming languages knowledge, here maybe you solve the different programs, C or Java or somewhere, that every program you can redesign like this for practicing and then for more practicing operations. Next, so I'm going to designing one more example. So this time I'm performing some arithmetic calculators. With our arithmetic operations, I'm going to designing a small calculation for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modular operation and exponent power values. 6 arithmetic operators available. For the 6 arithmetic operators, a mini calculator I'm going to design. Not full-fledged, sir, just a mini calculator. It performs only arithmetic operations only. One more practicing example. So how many components are required for this, sir? 2 text boxes required basically. Labels not required. 2 text boxes required compulsory and 6 buttons. 2 text boxes and 6 buttons. Why 6 buttons, sir? Plus 1 button or minus 1 button or star 1 button or slash 1 button like that. So initial coding comes like this. I'm taking a division tag here. Division tag. Inside that this designing is going on. Type equals to text. ID equals to first number. If you are interested, you can write placeholder also. So placeholder equals to first number. Next line break. Second text box in the same manner. Second text box. Placeholder. Second number. Two text boxes ready with the two IDs. First num and second num. Next buttons. Button. Every button on click event required because to do the corresponding calculations. And what is the button headings are? First button heading plus and button close. So all total 6 buttons required, all side by side it will comes. The power value calculations are, so XR operator I am using. Now this is the output of the program. Arithmetic calculator, first number, second number and 6 buttons. But actually buttons size very small in original appearance. Now I'm going to applying some CSS styles also. But JavaScript, HTML plus CSS all comes under the same program. So division tag is close. Script tag not required here. Directly inline scripting we are developing. So comes to here. Style for CSS. Division tag selector. So width is some 200 pixels. Background color. And margin auto. This is our calculator, simple calculator. Next heading align equals to center. Next text boxes settings we are going to perform. The input to text box available, that one. So input type equals to text. Font size I am increasing first of all. So 20 pixels. And width also I am going to setting here. Width to 200 pixels. Next to next one, alignment, text alignment. Text boxes, text alignment right I am taking because we are going to typing the numbers. So alignment starts from the right side like this. Reasonable because numbers right to left alignment is available in generally. The next one, I need a small margin because buttons comes very closer here. So margin bottom I am going to using for 10 pixels required. This is process. For text box is ready. Next is R. In text boxes, so they are coming to division box very closer. So we are going to apply the padding left. Or 20 pixels I am taking here, left side padding only. Next, buttons designing. So button, the width of the button, height of the button I am setting here. Some 40 pixels width and 40 pixels height. And font size also I'm increasing because symbols very small size displaying. 22 pixels font size. We'll get buttons or something bigger size like this. Next to border radius also I'm going to apply for the buttons. So 50% of the border radius. Now all buttons are circular shape it comes. Next to button small adjustment required because sixth button comes to the next line. And the division tag width problem. So buttons also ready. Next, enter the data in first text box. Click on any of the button. There should be performs the calculation and displaying the result. Where the result displaying is there. As for our previous operations, you can go for the document.write. But separate screen here comes. Otherwise, yesterday's explanation alert we can go. But it's a separate box it comes. But I don't want alert to, I don't want all these things. Any other option as well. Output tag, one more option. Last example I already used output tag. That output tag is one of the option. You can go for that one also, no problem. But instead of output tag, one more option better sir. Take the third text box. The result is comes to the third text box. So this is the result box. No placeholder. Empty text box. So fill the details in first text box, second text box, click on the button, the result should be displayed in the third text box. And third text box, we need a special setting also sir, that is read only compulsory required. Otherwise sir, users entering the data in third text box. So we should stop the user entries. For the read only option we can use. Next, designing part is done, sir. Now, if you click on the third text box, also cursor not comes. The first text box cursor comes, second text box cursor comes, but third text box no cursor. Next, you get logic pending, sir. Up to now, what we did, sir, CSS, HTML, designing part done. Next, coding part. These two they can't do anything for coding, so should take the JavaScript support only. And on-click events are already waiting, sir. If I click on the first button, plus button, what to do, sir? Get the data from the first text box. Get the data from the first text box, first num dot value. Plus get the data from the second text box, second num dot value. And find the sum of these two text boxes. Assign the result to third text box. Result dot value equals to this. But again the problem arises here, sir. Concatenation is performing because data we collected from the text boxes. Text box is generally text only available. Text box is generally text only available. So that's why once again parse integer is required. Now this is the first button logic. We can check it first. If it is working, copy paste the same button code for all other buttons. Into the the first number 45, 56. This is answer. So it's working. Now once again you can test it. Enter the first number, enter the second number. By chance, if user giving the other than number, sir, some RAM is given. What is the answer, sir? NaN. Because first one is number, second one is the string, and moreover we are doing the integer conversion we use it. Integer conversion not available like the 45 RAM. But integer conversion available. RAM converting into integer is not possible. So NaN it will comes answer. Conversion problem. And the second button, sir. Same logic, sir, for second button also. But if we can reduce the code. Second button in parse integer not required. We can directly go ahead. Just directly minus. Rest of all the things direct operation, no parse integer. For why first only, sir? Plus two meanings available. Addition meaning available, concatenation meaning available. Browser getting the confusion, concatenation taking as a benefit of doubt. But here minus, sir. Minus a single meaning here. Multiplication single meaning here. And automatically translating the data here. But concatenation scenario, plus is saying go for the concatenation by converting. Minus, sir. Minus can't suggest anything. Because minus can do only minus operational. So rest of all calculations, parsing is not required, sir. Only for additions only parsing is required. The multiplication and this is slash. This is percentage, and the last one is power. Now all buttons are ready. So enter the first number 25, second number some 10. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, coefficient, remainder. Power value better go for the small value. All are working properly, perfectly. 256, 789.